bells. Turn off, please. Hey,
Happy Friday, everyone. It's Rain and Tony from Three-Tone Digital.
Yes, I thought you said raining Tony.
It's raining Tony.
Rain and Tony from out of the sky. Yes, it is Fancy Friday as well.
Your favorite web designer developer team here.
I wonder if we are the favorite. I wonder if they have others that are like, no.
Well, I like to pretend you are. We are.
We're the only one. Who do you know? Do you know other web developers? We have our Fancy Friday trademarked Starbucks once a week. $15 for both drinks, not even a snack. It's crazy. White chocolate mocha venti quad, no whipped cream, 1 pump of the flavor. What do you have?
Latte with almond milk, cinnamon topping.
Yes, that's hers. Today we're talking about I didn't just realize the blue magical background. We're talking about sliders. I should take that out. Kind of crazy. Yeah, let's put this one on. There we go. No, it's nice. We're talking about sliders, not the food. But that does sound pretty good, right? We're not talking about sliding. We're going to talk about luge or bobsleds. We're not talking about sliding doors. We're not talking about sliding scales. Remember sliding scales when you go to the dentist and you don't have money and they're like, since you don't make any money, we'll do it for free. We're talking about website sliders, of course, because we're web developers and designers. Or we say we're web developer and designer, because singular. But we both kind of tread on each other's skills. So I guess we are web developers and designers. So a lot of the times we talk about website sliders and why not to use them. I think that's the whole point of this stream is the negative sides of website sliders. Right, Raina?
Right.
Right.
You've seen them on websites. There's something that a lot of websites have, and a lot of people think they want it. And we'll say, oh, we need a slider, or we can do a slider here. But today we're going to talk about really why you should rethink that.
Yeah, it's an old school thing. I think that's like the main part. I think that people get used to it because they have it on their website and they see it on some websites and they think that's the best way to display condensed data, pictures or information. But there's so many perks and so many downsides of it. We hardly do. I mean, there are sliders on our site, but they're more functional things rather than the type that we're really talking about, which are like image sliders and header sliders and things like that. Just to give you an example, I was on a site a few months ago. They wanted 10 sliders, and each slider had specific information about that service. And the one person clicked that one, go to that service page. But the thing is, as you can imagine, as we always say, attention spans are like that of rats now. And no one is literally going to sit there and flip through or wait for a slider, never mind 10 sliders, to scroll by your face to get the information. That's the main point of this, I think. There's other reasons, but the main thing is why. Why even bother? So the stats show that there's highly low engagement. Less than 2% of people ever see, you ready? The second slide. They don't go to the second slide. We've seen it on our own Hotjar recordings. That's where somebody goes in and it records the screen. Kind of weird. But looking at it, we know on our own website that nobody will scroll with image slider. But the stats actually show that with other websites, not just ours. So even if you have a website that has a big header and it says, welcome to our site, the next slide, somebody's already gone and they're not waiting for that slider. So low engagement, to me, right on that says don't even bother to use it.
And before you go to the next point, in general, people who land on your website homepage will take less than 10 seconds before they're moving to another page. So when you think about that and the speed of certain sliders, there's no way to get an exact science down for, oh, this is too slow or this is too fast. you want to make sure to be able to capture the most important points in one look of it. So having those, and that example that you just said about that 10
It's
sliders
crazy.
is really, really bad user experience.
Of the site.
Doesn't make sense for how the general users even interact today. And not to say that sliders are can't be beneficial in other terms. To me, sliders are best for photo galleries and things like that, where people know they want to see what the next one is, and they'll be able to control that. But that's a different thing, not on your main header mega hero image sliding back and forth.
Yeah, and I disagree with the image. Honestly, the gallery. I think their images galleries are best suited as grids because I want to be able to go to it and click it. I don't want to have to wait by your order of importance to know which image I want to see. You know?
Yeah, I think it's divided, and I could see the benefits of it from a design standpoint. It shows more modern, a safe space. It gives a more modern look. I'm just thinking about the site
Yeah,
we
it
just did,
definitely saves
Mark,
space.
and
Yeah,
it is an elegant, high-end site, and to plop all those things in there gives it a different look, and it really is depending on the circumstance.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's better than big giant images all after each other. So I'd
Yeah,
say,
because that could it almost looks like, if you have a wall in your house, and we've done this, we've had a picture gallery wall, and we've kept it like that for some time. But then when we got our walls painted, we took everything off, and I just like the vibe of just a clean wall. It seemed almost relieving of having so much clutter on the walls.
yeah,
So it could invoke certain feelings too on the presentation of.
the cleanliness of it. On top of the fact that they look weird sometimes, they just add extra bulk to your site, slow loading times, because all of these, there are CSS methods of doing sliders, but most of the slider plugins that people download or add to their site are JavaScript. And not to say that little pieces of JavaScript across time all add up, and you're going to end up with something that has low engagement for what costs slow loading times or slower, or at least a little bit towards a slower loading time, right? There's also accessibility issues, screen readers, which is usually the least on the list of things, but in terms of ADA compliance, if a user is on a site has a hard of seeing, they don't know what's there. Don't use them. That's the reason number three. Low engagement, slow load times, and accessibility issues. There's also beginner blindness, which is called where it's just people think that when you go to a website and it's Google ads or ads are everywhere, they just see them as ads. There's so many things scrolling. You just kind of you have horse blinders on. You don't even wind up seeing it. So all this effort you putting these things in sliders and trying to make things condensed was all for not. I haven't seen Traverse in a while, but not as fun.
All for naught.
Yeah, and SEO, especially if you're using text that's important in a second slider or beyond, it's not being indexed correctly. So why waste your time? Why waste the SEO juice? So those are my reasons not to use it, not to use a website slider. End of story. No, I mean, and again, there are places to use it. You can use it as an image gallery. We've done clients that the site that I was with the 10 sliders, I just want to clarify that was not an actual three-tone digital client. It was something I was helping out for somebody else. So I had no say, nor do I, if they really want 10 sliders for their industry, maybe that's what they want to do. So it's it is what it is. But usually we will tell the client this is the best practice and best way to go about it because unless they have good reasons otherwise, we're always looking. I wrote this in the email yesterday that we will back off completely if you have a good reason for these proposed changes like not to happen, because I think when we suggest things, yes, you might have it in your head. And of course, we want to appease people and make you happy and that you want a part of the website development. But at the same time, we do know that nobody's going to see the second slider. In this case, we're talking about sliders or whatever it might be. So I think the best thing is to listen to us when we do. We know what we're talking about. So That's your intro to website slider. Sliding into the weekend. You see the thing? Do you know?
Oh,
And
oh wait. I have a couple other things
oh,
before we move on to the next topic.
all right.
Um, so another thing, just with the technical piece of sliders. So a lot of these page builders, they have the sliders, right? And they give you the control to animate and make them fast or slow, and you can kind of test that out. Um, Studies have shown that almost half of all the auto rotation sliders, they do not pause on hover. So there's a lot of things that are out there that it's like set it, forget it. And if a user wants to hover over a certain piece or section of it, it just keeps going. So there are some technical things with the capability of certain sliders that can negatively impact users. Another thing that I found a good blog about this. The auto rotation sliders don't stop after active user interaction. So that's something to think about. And then also the slider controls are not visible. And so things are just happening and going back pretty quickly without any controls to go back. And so these are some negative things to think about when you're implementing or thinking about implementing the sliders. And we didn't talk about mobile and sliders.
Yeah, some sliders work on mobile, some don't. I think on mobile we're all used to swiping with our finger, but a lot of them that are out there don't do that by default because it really includes another JavaScript library, whatever framework you're using, that allows to capture where the finger is and where it's going. So a lot of these will rely on the dots, which become very, very small on mobile, and the arrows, which are usually far, I don't want to say far off the screen. If you design right, of course they're on the screen, but sometimes they're to the sides. You don't even see them while you're scrolling with your thumbs. Those are good points.
Yeah,
Those are all like
a
error
lot
type
of the
things.
auto rotating sliders, they're just not appropriate for the touch screens. And like mentioned earlier, they lack the hover and things like that because it's meant for desktop really. So all things to kind of reconsider and think about when deciding whether or not you should use a slider. And if it's the best, will it be the best user experience for your audience?
Yeah, and I think still the number one reason, the errors aside and weird things like hover and slow website, is that nobody's reading it. So I think you should really, as you think about websites and website content, you should really think about what is important and what you do want the person to use. You don't want to be hiding stuff because thing that you put on this, even in just in terms of SEO, if you put something important on the second slider, you can't really use that same exact text and on the site and just get the same power from it too, you know? So if you're saying, like, hey, we also do loans in that second slider, as you mention it again down further, it's already been mentioned once. So you've already taken away that juice for SEO. So many
Yeah.
negatives. I don't
Um, a lot of the times you get caught up in the newest and the greatest. And I think there was a huge trend for sliders even years ago. And it just was part of every page builder theme to be able to use the sliders. What was that big one that we hated so much?
I know it. You want to
Oh, it
guess?
had so many things wrong with it. It really caused a lot of issue on frameworks.
Yeah. Do you
It's a big one, a big slider
know the name?
add-on. What is it?
Revolution.
Oh my gosh, Revolution Slider.
Rev slider, as they call it in the streets.
Wow. Now
You,
this
I used to call it revolutionary slider. Remember? And I'd be like, no, it's revolution.
revolutionary Rev Slider.
It's still out there. It's included with all these themes.
Oh my goodness, this thing gave me a headache. So many
It does
sites
everything.
have it.
Yeah, it does. It comes along with a lot of templates, but it also does everything. You can split words, explode them. You can do whatever. Parallax is in there.
Yeah, it is super robust, but your website will pay for it. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
it really is.
Slow it
And
down.
They don't let you do much without paying for the premium. I mean, it's cool, but yeah, it's really horrible for websites. They do have some cool effects on it, and you can like do whole pages in Rev Slider. I remember you can like format a page, and they have templates for it that slide in. Things are moving parallax, but it's a beast, and it's horrible for page speed and stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one. Whew,
There's
I
also Layer
I don't miss
Slider.
that one at all.
Yeah, Layer Slider was a little better, but same deal, really, where it has just every script in the world. But I think Layer Slider let you turn them off and say, well, I only want the parallax portion and not exploding text. So
Yeah, so don't get wrapped up on the newest, trendiest things. If you have a page builder and it comes with it, just
yeah,
really understanding what is best for your user experience is important because
yeah. And one slider I really like to use, you know which one it is? No, you know, slider I use all the time. Slick.js.
oh
Have you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
ever
yeah.
thought about it?
Yep.
Slick.js is a pretty low level, lightweight,
Yep,
pretty much framework to do sliders. I think they now have migrated from having to use jQuery to doing just vanilla JavaScript. I almost said LavaScript. That should be a language. Now I want a lava cake. But the Slick.js will allow you to say this parent element, just make whatever is inside of it as children element a slider. So it's really cool that you can just add it to anything on your website. You do have to format it in terms of style usually. It does some typical styling, but if you're doing anything that's a little more less than just blocks of text, you have to do some sort of styling, especially in mobile. But Slick.js is a really cool thing and it's low level. But again, if you're using it, you need to know why you're using it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how is great. Everybody can be how, and you can be a web developer, but why is that UX? It's like that question of UX. Actually, I wrote that down here when we were talking about it this morning. Designers, including UI, UX, anybody, continue to debate the usability of sliders, with studies showing varied user engagement and preferences depending on context and content. So, like Brian said, yes, we've done a restaurant website that has a slider of images, but it fits, you know, if someone's looking to do a wedding and they want to just flip through some stuff casually, that's cool. But a site like the other one that wants to put all their services in a slider, 10 of them, that all have 5 seconds of load time with a lot of text, doesn't even make any sense. That's the wrong way to go about it. So it's context and the usability of it. Do you want people to use your site?
Exactly. So we kind of just mostly leaning towards the cons of sliders.
We're going to do positive.
Well, I do want to mention the other side of it. So we talked about the cons, right?
Some background music.
Compromise, website speed could be distracting. There are studies showing that it has lower click rates. It has its things with the slider controls and missing those and things like that. But I found this article on LinkedIn, which is actually pretty good. And it does outline the pros of it and certain websites that it might be good for. And we kind of already mentioned this for a photo gallery. So the positioning on that wouldn't be on the top. It could be in the bottom parts of it. And also for products and portfolios. So those are interesting points.
Yeah, I still don't think they're interesting in terms of like why you'd use it, but I can see the benefit, which, like what you said, brings that grid and a slider. So when you click, so there's a grid of images, you click the image, and then it opens up the slider so you can flip through it. So you can start essentially anywhere, seeing what you want to see. So yeah, I could see that being helpful combined with something like a grid.
Yeah, but no matter what, we still go back to the cons, which is if your site's slow, then what's the point of making it just look pretty? And if it's not going to come up in Google or at the search engines, and it's going to be an overall bad experience. So
yeah,
I think I'll have to choose no sliders.
No sliders. But we should have named this. It's really about head. What I'm talking about, I think, is like, yeah, those header sliders gotta go. And there's places you can use them. There's data that you can use, which I like to do. where you say there's 5 different things. Okay, let's put those things in a nice visual infographic like slider, but then there's the ones that are just, here's an image and text, here's an image and text and a button, here's an image and text and button. Like that has to go. That's so old school.
We should look up a couple types of sliders so we can see them. So there's main types of sliders. There's showcase sliders. There's also vertical accordion sliders, full width, which we're probably all familiar with.
Yeah.
Horizontal, and then there's just like a standard.
Here, I'll share my screen. Why is that song bad? Yeah, we got these. It's a little weird way to look at it. Block slider. Hey, where were you at? Slider. Let's go to Slider Revolution.
Yeah, they have all the types there.
They would. Image slider.
These sliders.
Yeah, and you can see. I mean, they have these cool effects, and I get it, right? Of course, you want this like parallax. Wow, look.
Oh, can you click no thanks?
Yeah. Wow, look at all the parallax moving. It has that trendy, nice effect. But really, what we got? There's a lot of stuff.
Image slider. So wow, so you see how it just came in like that? Like it adds that extra movement to kind of grab people in. A little bit too much, I think.
Yeah, and again, this is great for scrolling, but see this little dot down here? Like you got to manage it, you got to wait for it. It still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if that even shows the slider controls, because you can hide those.
Yeah, I guess for things like Apple, things that are just supposed to be showy and give you that wow factor.
Well, look, they talk about the pros and cons there.
Oh yeah.
Does it say speed? Yep, number 1.
Yeah, it should. Visual, space saver, important information. I would disagree with this, because that second one is very important. Speed, yep. Mobile friendliness, user control. I can never.
Yeah, so it straight up says like some image sliders may not work on mobile, and if most of your traffic's coming from mobile, then that should be a big consideration.
Yep. Video sliders, pretty much like the image one, just using video instead. When to use, should just say don't, never. Engagement information, storytelling, loading time, autoplay issues, whatever. Accessibility. Text sliders. There's not even an example for this one.
Yeah, because it would look so gross.
Yeah, exactly. What the heck? Okay. Advanced slider.
You don't even get to see it.
Yeah. I kind of like, these are like different to me. So I feel like these are informative. I wouldn't consider this really the type of slider that we're talking so much crap about. These are more like this tabular database thing. Not database, but database.
Yeah, more informative.
Yeah, so I could see this being a helpful thing. Watch at the end of this for like slider proponents, for like sliders for everybody. These are cool. I'll admit it. Like when you're on a product site and you're scrolling through like Amazon or something where it's like related products, buy now, FOMO. Visual variety, complexity, speed. Again, it's on everything. Thumbnail sliders. I'm not a fan. What do you think?
No, this does remind me of like a photographer, a photo roll, which to me would be great to show, like, how old-fashioned photos, and then to have them developed and look like a photo.
Yeah,
kind of an interesting thing for a photographer, but
like a Lightroom.
Exactly.
Layered sliders. These are the ones that, again, this is kind of like that first one. It's just a different effect. It's parallax or layered, so things are moving at a different speed. So it gives it that like 3D look. Full screen slide. I mean, they've all been
these are the big ones. These animation ones now.
Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, I guess as you scroll down, I'm picturing this site, you scroll down and things like this happen. That's the same effect that you would get rather than relying on somebody clicking it,
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it, at least. It doesn't, I like the effect, and I think it's cool to have these layered speed variations, but it's just the fact that they have to click or wait.
Yeah.
It just seems against all of our best practices. Post sliders, which, yeah, I guess, right? Because it'll be like, view our latest posts. But again, just give me all the posts. And why is it going crazy like a book? It's like a whole thing. I'm scared of it. Effective use of post sliders. See, this one's a little better because you're going down. It probably is based on a scroll, and that's where it makes a little more sense.
Marvel.
What was it? Oh, up there.
Well, no, it's DC. DC,
I think
right?
it's Hulk. Isn't Hulk? I don't know.
Hulk is DC, I think. Yeah.
Don't do that stuff. FAQs. Yeah, I mean, those are the different type of sliders. So they did a pretty good job. Good job, Slider Revolution. Let's see how much they are.
Well, at least one thing that I like about this particular page is that it's telling you the pros and cons. So it's not trying to say sliders, even though this is what they do. They have Slider Revolution.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
They're providing both the pros and the cons, which I think is important. So it's like, use it at your own risk.
Yeah, it's like their legal terms. Like, this may mess up your user conversions, just so you know. But it looks pretty. Yeah, so I mean, they charge a little bit. You can get the plugin for free, I believe, on the dark web. No, I'm just kidding. But I think in order to get updates and a lot of their features and templates, you do have to pay per year. But speaking of, and I would be like, Slick.js does the same thing, but then you'd go to the site and you'd be like, oh, this is it. And it's a lot of code. But really, if you're looking to do something and you have these blocks or elements that you want to add scrolling to, you can do everything. I'll say, yeah, everything that you saw in that Revolution slider with this, with some talent, of course, because right now it's going to look a little weird, but they give you all the JavaScript controls. So I prefer Slick.js. I know there's better ones out there now. I'm kind of stuck to it, and I think I'll probably I'll upgrade someday in the future to a new Slick or new JavaScript framework that does it. But until then, Slick does it for me. Instead of my FancyFriday copy. I think I have background music playing this whole time. Hey, you know what we never did?
What National Day?
National Day.
What is a National Day?
National French Fry Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, other stuff.
I really love a good French fry. Not too greasy. Just the right amount of salt. Like, sometimes it's so hard to find a good French fry.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I was just like, is it French Fry Day? Second Friday
in
July.
Is it not French Fry Day?
No, it is. I like French fries too. God forbid.
You had some really good French fries that day. Do you remember?
That's right.
Fries?
Yeah.
Was it Druthers?
No. I forget what it was.
Druthers has good French fries too, I think.
Yeah, it was steak fries. Oh wait, it was at Red Robin. Yum, wasn't it? I don't know. We went to Red Robin for the first time ever for you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I used to go there a little bit, but it's been years and years. It was pretty good. It was like a circus in there, though, like a kid's playground. Eat your Jello day. Okay.
I was surprised too about the French. Yeah, I think that might have been it. The French fries were kind of good there.
Yeah, because I got fish and chips, I believe.
And that was actually pretty good too.
Yep.
Not super junk food tasting.
Yeah, I'm hungry. We're having pizza today. Collector Car Appreciation Day. Boring. Paper Bag Day. Don't they? I mean, paper bags are now the norm over here. They don't do plastic bags in New York. It's illegal.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, am I not showing my screen?
No.
Oh, my Lord. I'm just talking about paper bags.
National Different Colored Eye Day.
Yeah.
That's wow, I think I met like a couple people that had really crazy eyes like that.
Yeah, there's a word for it, isn't there? Like heterochromia. So hetero meaning different, and chromia meaning colors.
One of the girls' friends I remember when I was in elementary school, she had 2 separate color eyes.
Isn't her name Iris too?
No.
Oh, that would be really
I don't remember her name. It was when they were really little.
Yeah. But if I had a kid that had 2 different eyes, I would name them Iris. boy or girl. um, yeah, pecan pie day. What about Amanda? Or she needs to get that pie.
Oh, Amanda makes the best. Well, the
Amanda,
apple pecan pie.
yeah,
Shout out to Amanda and her delicious pie making skills.
yeah, it's probably the best pie I think
Yeah,
I've ever had in my
I
life.
think it's number one. Apple pecan pie. The recipe is crucial though, because there's a lot of other recipes out there that don't match up.
Yeah,
This is a family favorite. Apple pecan pie, made with the granny green apples. Wait, is it green? Yeah, right.
so yeah, yeah.
That's all I can tell you about the secret recipe.
Or she'd have to kill you, or Amanda would have
Can't
to
get
kill
the
you.
secret recipe out. I just got it last year.
Should sell it. National Different Eye Day. We did that. Simplicity Day.
Now this has to do with this could be related to keeping your website simple and not bombarding it with crazy sliders going everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Things like that.
Yeah, look at that. It came full circle. National Simplicity Day warns you to use sliders and information that's important on your website to a minimum because you want a fast website and you also want to actually give the person the information. So keep it simple. KISS, as they say.
KISS, kiss?
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I think that's the saying.
Oh.
Kiss me and you will see how important I am. Nope. Yeah, say keep it simple, stupid. It's an acronym. It's a design principle first noted by the U.S. Navy in 1960. Did not know.
Always dropping facts.
Yeah, this guy has the same name as that woman I used to work for with, Kelly Johnson. That's her name. How weird. Well, keep it simple, stupid. Happy Simplicity Day. Anything else? You want to do a final word?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. I'm going to mute myself. Put on some background music.
Today's final word is to focus on clarity and user-centric content instead of streamlining or making things complicated with these sliders. So focus on clarity, focus on user experience, and keep it simple.
The last part of that sounds crazy.
Yeah, stupid. It sounds like you're calling me stupid. Keep it simple, stupid.
All right. Anyways, happy Friday to everybody. We'll be on later every hour today doing a show, cooking show. We have a show about changing oil in the car. I have another one planned about how to, what was it? In your class. Every hour on the hour. It's like weather on the one.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
No, not actually.
We'll be on tomorrow. Our weekend special at special location, Latte Vita Cafe. We're gonna bring you in to see our new room. Maybe we'll do a tour. We'll do a tour of the new cafe. We'll have lattes. It'll be a light show.
Yeah.
Tour of the cafe. Yeah, we're gonna do a little. Well, we don't have to do it. It's a little spot, you know. Yeah, we're gonna be stationed in a corner in the cafe, enjoying some lattes with you guys on Saturday. And Sunday. Oh, I think you're muted. Oh no. I've been talking to myself this whole time. I'm like, yeah, I could hear him, but you guys couldn't hear him. No, I don't know how long you've been muted for, but
probably the whole show. It's probably a better show since that. Oh. Next time I'm gonna mute myself and just stay on and just move my mouth like I am talking. Which you can't tell anyways because of my weird lips. right?
So maybe it picked up on the microphone, so maybe people did hear it. We'll have to
Probably
run it back and see.
it probably didn't this time. The only time we don't want it to. But I was gonna say behind Arena, you could see that barn door that we built there. We did it. It opens
It
up
was a
into a
project.
cafe. Yeah, it was a project. It might not look perfect. If you're a contract construction worker and you're looking at it, don't judge. It's good.
It's the best we can do.
Closes. What do you want? Yeah, behind that though is a whole magical experience that Arena has put together. It used to be a dining room.
Well, yeah, and it
Still
still
is.
is a dining room, but it's shared with a
Yeah,
really cool space that has a vibe and
it's now like an
a
office. We've
working
been working in
cafe.
there.
I built a working cafe in our house.
Yep,
Don't judge me.
everything's turned into a cafe. It's like the Auntie Donna. Everything's a drum. Everything's a cafe. Everything's a cafe.
So we have latte parties here. If you're lucky, you're invited. We do business right here at the cafe. Soon to be, anyways.
Yeah, we definitely should make that part of our like intro calls, like latte hour or something. You know, like a discovery call.
Yeah. Usually we're drinking coffee during our discovery calls, anyways.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been real, and I'm gonna play us out with our outro. So
Have a great Friday. Sliding into the weekend.
it's
Oh,
supposed to end, but